Okay, so we're going to move on to looking at these variables in a little bit greater detail. Here's what we had previously, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this. Actually, I might comment out. This is a group comment, a block comment. So I'm going to do slash asterisk. Notice that everything became green, meaning that everything is now a comment. I'm going to then stop that comment. So here's a block. Everything that I've done, I haven't deleted it, but by commenting that out, it no longer is going to be run when the browser is going to be, when the page loads. I'm going to create a new variable called counter or counter. And I'm going to initialize that to 0. I have this variable up here, and this is called number that has a value in it. And I'm going to we'll do this. We'll we'll increment counter by 1. Counter equals counter plus 1. And what that is going to do is get the current value of counter, 0, add 1 to it. Now it's 1, and store that back in counter. And now if I alert this, alert counter, I'm going to see what that value is. So the first time that I click on the button, it's clearly going to be a 1. Question is, what happens the second time that I click the button? So I'll save and refresh, and I click on the button, and sure enough, that says 1, as hopefully that makes sense. Well, if I click it again, shouldn't that go out, get counter? It's 1, add 1 to that. Now it's 2, and alert 2. The answer is no, it goes back to 0. And the reason for this is that by declaring this variable here, this is known as a local variable. Oops, not there. And a local variable is one that only exists between the time it's declared here and this curly brace. As soon as the code gets to this curly brace, it says, I'm great, I'm done. It frees up this memory, it deletes it. The memory can no longer be accessed. And so when I call counter a second time, it's going to create a brand new variable in a different memory location, assign that to 0, and I do that over and over and over again. Instead, I've got another variable up here called number, and that is outside of that loop. So I'm going to change this code to number equals number plus 1, and I'm going to output number. Because number is declared when the page loads, not when the function is called, it's going to hang on to that value when this function ends. So that's the difference. Counter is going to be freed up, but number is going to exist while the page is loaded. If I hit refresh, it's going to get reassigned, but as long as this page is up and running, there it's 1. That hopefully makes some sense. And if I click on it a second time, it's going to be 2 and 3 and so on and so forth. Well, great. So the difference is this is a global variable, meaning that I have access to this as long as my page is up and running. A local variable, I only have access to that inside this particular function. As soon as I get to the closed curly, then it's going to go away. So let's try something else. Let's set this to 10, and we'll count down. Instead of adding 1, I'm going to be subtracting 1 from number. So it's going to go to 10 down to 0. And what I want to do is I want to, when it gets to 0, we'll say Blastoff instead of saying 0. So I need to do a test. This is an if statement. So if number equals 0, then I want to do something else. Now, there's a number of things that are a little peculiar about the way that I just wrote that. I'm going to alert Blastoff. And double exclamation mark really makes that point. All right. So a couple things. I have an if statement. I said if number equals 0, but I put 2 equal signs there. That's because a single equal sign is assignment. I'm going to reassign this variable to a new value. So get number that was 10, subtract 1 to it. Okay, that's 9. This equal sign assigns number 9 back to this variable, not number. Sorry. So single equal sign is assignment. It's going to assign what's on the right side to the thing that's on the left side. So a little subtraction. The result of this math is going to be 9. I'm going to reassign number to 9. This is how do I test for equality then? If I wanted to check to see does number equal 0, I can't use a single equal sign because that symbol has already been taken. So the way we test for equality is with double equal sign. So as a comment, so double equal sign tests for equality, and a single equal sign, this is the assignment operator. Let's see what happens when we run this code here. I'll save it, come back and refresh and click, and it's 9. So interesting, I'm subtracting 1. I didn't start at 10. It's subtracting 1 right from the get-go. So the first one's going to be 9. That's correct. There's 8 and 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now it is equal to 0. So when I click this again, it does say Blastoff, but then it says 0. So I might not want to do that. If I keep on clicking, now it's going to be -1, -2, and so on. So it's going to keep on going. So why did it output 0? I don't want it to output 0. I just want to say Blastoff. They don't say Blastoff, and the rocket goes up, and then they say 0. So what I want to do is, this is known as an else statement. So if it's true, I want to alert Blastoff. In all other cases, though, else, I want to alert that number. But that's not going to prevent it from going negative. So in addition to saying Blastoff, I want to reassign number to 10. So I'm doing 2 things. Notice also that there's no semicolon here. This is like a subordinate clause, all right? So it's not a complete thought. If this is true, then do these lines. These are the lines that are the complete thought. This is the independent clause using the English metaphor, and I can do as many as I want. They're inside these are curly braces. On the else, in all other cases, so if this is not true, skip this block and run this line here. So if I save and refresh this, there's 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Next time I click, it says Blastoff. That's great. Notice no more pop-up. Click again, and now we're back to 9. All right. So that's how to do, that's the difference between a global variable and a local variable. And that's my cat chewing on the carpet. And this is an if statement with an else, where we're able to do some things if that condition is true, other things in all other cases. All right, thanks much.